All right, we'll do this.
You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching the Meta Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Meta Show. I am your host, Brisk Rubal. I am joined on this Fireside edition by our favorite two boys, Merkel Chen and Asher, along with a black shirt wearing Matani.
I'm just casual today. I'm just casual. This is a Fireside episode. I am absolutely not gonna go full Vince McMahon mode. We're gonna have a nice chill chat here, and I am totally not. I promise you that I will not relentlessly make fun of everybody who whined about us sounding the horn of Goondor the last few days. I promise you I will not make fun of any of the people who are pathetic little bitches crying about us sending an email. You have my word.
I just want to talk about that a little bit because I don't know. Maybe it's just that I'm American. Maybe it's just that I get 100 emails a day that are like,
grow
legit,
the fuck up.
300 that are not.
Grow up, fucking crybabies.
People really go scream because they got an email. Because they signed into a website 10 years ago and we got their email.
We didn't even send a fucking email. Not like it matters. But these people, I cannot imagine. And if you are watching, and you were one of the people that were like mad posting about this. Oh, sorry, I'm wearing a black shirt. I lied. We're already going to make fun of you. I have never seen such hyperventilating screeching from a bunch of pathetic losers so mad about receiving an email. Oh my God. Oh my God. What happened? Somebody sent me an email. Here's what I want you to do. If you are one of the people that is mad about Goonswarm calling our friends to come back and play with us. If you are mad, try this. Go to somebody who does not play EVE Online, right? If you have a friend, if you have a family member, if you have somebody that will talk to you because you're the kind of person that cries about getting an email, if you can find one of these people who is not associated with EVE Online in any way, try to sit down and explain to them why you are so ass-blasted about us using the Horn of Goondor, and you might have received an email from a forum that you signed up for it, and see if they take you seriously at all about how tragic it is that you received an email from a private message on a forum that you personally signed up for, and why everybody should be crying about it. I am stunned. I am genuinely stunned. I am so used to puppies crying about stupid shit that I thought I had seen it all. But holy crap, what a bunch of crybaby bitches. Like it is difficult for me to put into words how much just searing contempt I have for any of you who went out there on Reddit, who went out there on Twitter, who went out there anywhere and wrote words about how you were mad about us sounding the horn of Goondor. So cry more. Please cry more. Holy shit.
The best part is Reddit gets like a 1,000 upvoted posts of some guy that's mad that he got a PM from Goon saying come back, and he's coming back to fight against us. Okay.
Where do they find these people? Holy shit. I mean, I thought I had seen the bottom of the fucking barrel when it came to crying about goons. Oh my God. We contacted our own players using our own forum to come back and fight. I don't really have a conclusion on that. Like, I don't really have like a this goes somewhere. I just have a lot of like, you guys surprised me. I did not know that you could be such losers.
I have 2 points.
Asher has points.
All right. First off, you're assuming good faith. That post that got 1,000, whatever.
Of course, it's not good faith. Fuck them.
Right. Exactly.
You're assuming that it's actually a person and not just some test guy slamming his keyboard and making a post.
You're right. I did assume it was a person. I assumed that people did that. Yeah, you're right.
Secondly, Brisk. This is more of a show note to discuss afterwards, but I would really like to have a counter for when Mitten says we're going to have a chill show and then a timer to when he pops off.
How long it takes before he goes off the script.
Before he pops off and breaks the chill, because it was about 33 seconds today.
Yeah, we should
I'm proud of myself. 33 seconds. I think, I'm restrained. This is me being restrained, This is it's a Fireside black shirt. I'm not wearing the blazer with it, we're
Speaking of the Fireside, I would just like to say, as always, and one of the things we typically say when we watch Mind One during Saturday Night's Forum is we say he's on fire. But today, Merkel Chen is on fire, literally. He is on top of the fire.
He's looking fucking hot and crisp. It is. I'm envious. Like, I tried to get my hair to be a little bit less unfucked before we went on the show, but Merkel Chen is making us both.
Doesn't he always though?
He's got the fashion prize. He definitely has the fashion and the looks prize today.
I'm a little anxious right now because we've come off so spicy and we kind of came out of the shoots really hot, I feel like. So
maybe it's time to shit some consensus.
Where do we go?
We should shit. Maybe take it down a little bit. I've said my piece, right? Like, people crying about an email are a bunch of fucking losers. There's no real need to reiterate that. We can move on to other things. I'm sure that I'll have an opinion or two that's not super spicy. Well, why don't we talk about good feels? Let's talk about something nice. That's something more in Merkel Chen's vibe, which is how nice it is to have hundreds of your old friends coming back to play a video game that's not necessarily easy to play, not necessarily the most user-friendly kind of thing to jump back into after like a decade. But how have things been going on, like the Karma Fleet side of things? Like, what are you seeing in terms of reactions to us sounding the horn of Goondor and people receiving a mail? Oh my God.
Once I had gotten off the phone with my attorney, because I was trying to assess my legal disposition since I had spammed so many of our old members with a forum message. I was really, really concerned about where this was going to take us, in a litigious sense. It's been going really good. We use, obviously, chat services. Some of these guys have never been around in the era of Discord that have been long gone for years. So it's really, really fun. The horn is something you hear talked about quite a bit in the greater alliance and coalition. And, I've been in the leadership with Goons now for, half a decade and never seen anything like this play out. So really, really interesting to kind of watch the nuts and bolts, both the IT craziness that goes into something like that, but how it wasn't 15 minutes later, there were some people who had reg dates in 08 showing up like, okay, what do I do now? And what the fuck is a Kikimora, so super cool, really nice to see like a lot of the old people. And, since, as you would hear from our dear friend Billy, we were flat freaking broke.
Oh, that's right. We were really totally, absolutely out of money.
It was really nice to have, the 6 trillion-ish come raining from the sky in the first 12 hours. That part really helped. And hey, you know what? Maybe that'll make for a better conflict.
I don't even know. Like, I don't know where the whole Goons are broke thing came from. I guess all of the ISK we have was photo. Like, they go from crying about how we're evil people. Okay, so this is another thing. Sorry.
Here
The
we
black.
go. Black shirt's taking hold.
If you want to cry about how goons are evil people and how your job is to eradicate us from the game, the same bullshit that Sir Molly said, and Villy, you want to get out there and herf all these blurfs about how your war goal is getting rid of us. Great job so far. Really, we've gotten rid of so many of us. I just gave a fireside in front of 1,070 people because that's a perfectly normal thing to do on a Saturday. Talk to 1,070 of your friends. Actually, it's really fucking cool because we saw a lot of our people coming back. But what I want to know is, actually, sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. I was talking about the 1,070 and I was going to shit on Villy about something. What was it?
We were broke, was what you were
We
talking
were
about.
broke. Oh, and how he needs to eradicate goons from the game. I can't believe he says that shit. Anyway, whatever. I lost it. Maybe it'll come back later. Maybe I'll say that I'm done with it. I'll ADHD a little bit, and then the rant will come back. But I was just like, wow, we had 1,070 people on our Fireside. That's pretty fucking cool. I'm happy about that. I'm sorry. ADHD moment. I lost it. Guys.
Fine.
Sometimes
Look,
it doesn't always
I was
come.
excited to see that many. I mean, thank God our mumble server can handle
It happens to a lot of
sorry.
guys, Vince.
Sorry.
You got it back.
I got it back. If we're so evil, why did you have a non-invasion pact with us for multiple years? Why are you involved with all these treaties with us? Why were you our neighbors? And why did you ask us to help us against PanFam repeatedly over the years? But no, Villy's saying goons are toxic and they're so bad for the game and we need to get rid of them because of reasons, which is incidentally impossible. But on top of that, you hypocritical loser. You're running around trying to talk about a moral high ground when you were essentially in bed with us for years, but we're the bad guys. Oh, just pay no attention to the TTC. Pay no attention to the non-invasion pact. Pay no attention to the fact that you were asking us for help against PanFam, you backstabbing little son of a bitch. But we're the evil bad guys that you were happily in bed with for years. I don't know why anybody takes this guy seriously because holy shit, goons are broke, goons are evil. We're obviously not broke. And if we're evil, why are you hopping in bed with us and asking us to help you against PanFam for years and years and years because of your important principles? I just, it's the kind of thing that only someone who would complain about an email would talk about. And that's it. That's it. You're just that kind of guy. There you go. That's it.
That Mittens has had like 2 soapboxes already in the
Feeling
span
good.
of like one
Feeling
15-minute session of the 10 minutes into the show.
1,070 people on a Fireside. That'll fire you up.
That's
that will
good.
fire
I'm
you
hoping
up.
we get that many on the show today because I'll tell you, I was telling Merck before, he was like, so how many people do we average get on the Meta Show? And I said, well, pre-war it was 400 to 500 would be average. And then after the war, it's somewhere between 900 to 1,200 per show. And we're a little below that right now. So I'm hoping that that's because nothing's
Our dude
happening.
should be on a fucking move up right now.
Well, that's because, exactly. People are on move-offs, but there's nothing happening. I mean, that's the thing. Like, one of the things that I get frustrated with this war is we've had, this is I think, what is it now? The 11th week of the war. We've had maybe 2 major cap battles the entire time. The rest have just been skirmishing. We've had some fights over some structures. But there hasn't been any of these cataclysmic battles that we all expect. I mean, there's usually at least 2 or 3 of these per major war. And granted, they tend to be the last thing that happens. But still, we're 11 months in. The invasion has not really gone anywhere. In fact, it's getting rolled back, and I think Fountain Frank will be here later to talk about that. But in the end, it's just kind of quiet. And Villy was giving me a hard time on the Tuesday show about, in it, your numbers are down 40% since the war started. Well, what the fuck is there to do? I mean, you guys aren't attacking us. We're being invaded. We don't need to go on the counteroffensive unless we feel like it. It's just one of these things. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go play PUBG because I got nothing else to do. I'm waiting for you guys to do something. On top of what you said,
there's a fundamental problem with those numbers, and it's that they include supers and titans. So, like, if you don't use your supers and titans that week, then your numbers are way down, right? Like, if you have 400 people that don't show up because supers and titans didn't get a kill that week, then your numbers are down 400. And like, I'm able to do simple math. I know this is hard for other people who make these kind of posts, but yeah, that's it. That's literally the whole point. I've explained it to you. It took me 8 seconds.
I got a theory here. I'll be honest.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Are you sure you can talk? Maybe you need to take one of those buttons off, man. You're kind of tight up there.
I've only been playing for 8 or 9 years, so I wasn't there for everything. But if I had to venture to guess, I would think it is safe to say, never before has such like a ramshackle, hastily organized group of chucklefucks tried to bite off more than they can chew in the history of EVE Online. They're exhibiting the strategic wherewithal of like a sorority fundraiser pillow fight or something like that. And
those are better organized.
That's what we're up against right now, boys and girls. So buckle up. This is what you're up against. I know half of these motherfuckers are already looking for the door. I would be too if I had been talked into this ridiculous campaign of erasure. Let's get rid of the goons, because suddenly we're all going to stop hanging out and doing our thing just because we get rolled, dude. We get rolled for fucking breakfast. This shit happens all the time around here. My corp hadn't been in the Alliance for 6 months before we lost our space the first time. So I don't know. I think that's what's going on. You're sort of trying to anticipate and quantify something that cannot be anticipated. These people are fucking morons. So I don't think we need to like look into the looking glass too deeply to try to suss out the strategic disposition of our enemy. These people are just throwing themselves at Delve and hey, good luck. We'll see what happens. Come at us because we'll be here.
Are you telling me that I could have been in a sorority pillow fight this whole time instead?
That would have been way more fun.
Yes.
Right?
Sure. Or, you could set up a lemonade stand and it would probably be run better than this campaign.
Can you imagine Pro God Legend running a lemonade stand? Like, what would Piggles running a lemonade stand even look like?
I'll tell you
If
what.
we ever show up to work with less than 3 lemons, I'm going to lose my shit.
And I'll tell you right now, the fucking thing wouldn't have rigs on it. That's for damn sure. You can guarantee that.
The lemonade wouldn't need the lemons or wouldn't need sugar, wouldn't need something or other. It would be somebody else's fault at the end of it when he didn't sell anything. Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's it's a little weird. I mean, they're not Bob. Credit to Bob. Bob was actually like competent. The way that this thing is going down so far, let's just put it like this. One of the arguments that I've been seeing these guys making after they did their "we're going to move 1,000 Titans, guys, because 1,000 Titans is a lot of Titans in 2020, except that we didn't actually move 1,000 Titans." Anyway, rookie numbers, but they were. I lost it again. My mind goes in like 5 or 6 different directions here. I had like so many different insults in my head. Like the black shirt overwhelms me because I can make fun of the emails. I can make fun of their Titan numbers. I can make fun of
yeah. Listen, no,
bail me out here. I'm
too
gonna
much
tag you
Adderall
in,
or not enough Adderall. Where are we at on the spectrum?
I'm having too much
fun.
It's true. Absolutely, I'm having
Asher,
too much
here's
fun.
what I want to hear. This is a story that the guys told me earlier, and I think this is completely indicative of the way that this campaign has been run in the last couple of weeks. Tell me the story of the Titan from Declan.
Oh yeah, that was. So we had a resub. He read our forum PM. He was disgusted by that we sent him a forum PM.
How
and
disgusted.
To show his displeasure, he decided that he would resub to the game with his Titan that was in Declan. And we're like, oh, okay, we'll figure out a way to get you down.
Casino War in Declan?
Yeah.
Okay.
2012, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll figure out a way to get you down. And then he just PMs Jay like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm 6 jumps down. And Jay's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I've gone 6 jumps so far. And Jay's like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm on a moon. My Sino's running out, but I don't have a save, so I'm just sitting here. So he's sitting on a moon in Syndicate with a Sino running, with his Titan next to it, just aligned out. And we're like, that's not the best idea, but he's like, no, don't worry about it. I got it. He gets here. 12 jumps later, he hops into Delve. We're like guarding the gate. He doesn't know what a Keepstar is. He warps to the Ansiblex. He's like, is this where I go? We're like, no, you need to go to a Keepstar, dude. Keepstar's where you want to go. So this dude is like, I'm here to help. Then went 12 jumps on his own and bring his Titan down all the way from Declan.
That is goony as fuck.
But that's the amazing thing. I cannot believe in 2020 that it's possible for somebody to YOLO a Titan around multiple systems through like, how many jumps did he have to do? 6? 7?
12.
12 jumps.
12 jumps.
12 fucking jumps. And nobody sees it, and nobody catches him through systems that are supposedly hostile and owned by the bad guys now.
You know what? He actually has the benefit, like, where ignorance is bliss. He has no idea what an Astra House is. So, like, a blue bait Astra House from, like, Ivana or Losechnaya, he has no idea how to use it. He's just like, no, I what is this? I've got to let a Cyno on a moon and sit on it for 5 minutes while I wait. That's how he rolls. He doesn't use a bait one
That guy
at all.
is my new hero for the week. I mean,
They
that's just
say
amazing.
it's better to be lucky than good, and he is
Damn right.
very, very lucky.
Unbelievable.
Oh my. I feel almost kind of like a afterglow kind of moment here. Sort of like
Take the shirt
comment.
off, dude. Fuck it.
just
Get
kinda
rid
No,
of
no,
it.
no, no,
get
no,
out
no
there,
nipples.
blind,
Oh, right.
blind
I
everybody.
forgot. Never mind.
Wow. Yeah, no,
That
it's
would've
interesting.
been
Like,
bad.
shit talking notwithstanding, like basically a message to our enemies. You have to commit now. You told everybody that you were going to bring it into Delve. We took you at your word that you were going to bring it into Delve, and we sounded the horn of Goondor, and God forbid we sent emails. So I do hope that you put your Titans on our keep stars as you've been promising. And I sincerely hope that you guys all get together and talk about how goons are toxic and evil and how they need to be removed from the game. That is a very important strategy. And I think that you really have something there. The more you talk about how we're awful and how we need to go, the better things will be for you, because there might be 3 or 4 other alliances that you haven't blued yet that might join you. So, best of luck. But it is strange. Like, I hope they bring it, because we just sounded the fucking horn. And if these guys don't actually like deliver something real besides pussyfooting around and poor God getting tackled and killed by boat like earlier today, I have promised my people a tremendous catastrophic war where it's either we win or we lose everything in the process. And if you fail to actually come at us, we're just going to have to slit Legacy's throat. This is a thing. I didn't realize this, but I hope that there are some people that are very enraged that are watching this and are upset that I made fun of them for being pathetic crybabies, for being upset about an email. Good faith or bad faith, I still, searing contempt, feel like I'm looking down on you. But I just found out that I don't think, maybe he does this, but, in the Imperium, people talk about the Tranquility trading towers, right? And how, everybody's all in bed together and whatever. And we all have all this ISK and stuff. One of the things that's interesting about the Imperium is every single full member alliance of the Imperium gets a per capita share of the profits from the TTC based upon how many dudes you have. It's exactly the same. Goonstorm gets more because we have more dudes, but it's literally just a proportional per capita thing. We get the IS from the TTC and we distribute it to the entire coalition, because that's how you treat your allies, right? You treat them like they are your equals. And I don't think Villy has been handing out any TTC ISK. At least some of my sources are reporting that he hasn't been doing that to people in Legacy. So I really kind of want to know why the people in Legacy who are fighting on the front lines doing all of this work, because Test has mainly been sitting on their asses and crabbing, while the Voltron guys do the bulk of the work from the Legacy side of the aisle. And I don't even think they get a red cent of TTC ISK.
Brave and Invictus and them do not get TTC money.
Brave doesn't get TTC money.
No way.
Why is that?
No way.
Why
How
is
could
that?
you do this to the poor Barv guy? The poor, literally poor Barv guys. How could you do this to them?
But I need to know for real. Is this like a meta thing that we're doing, or do they actually not get?
No,
money?
like they actually don't. Like I assumed because it's just good governance that everybody, like the coalition, splits. Because why would I ask Villy what he's doing with the ISK? I assumed that he would be doing what we do.
I'm gonna message Dunk and ask him if that's true, because I don't believe it.
I attempted to get an answer out of him the other day.
You guys get TTC money?
We'll see how it goes. So yeah, in case you didn't realize, guys, I don't know, Legacy people, if you've been seeing the TTC ISK, I'm happy to talk about it, because in the Imperium we treat our allies like we treat ourselves, and we're all in this together against you nerds who are mad about emails. But apparently some of you nerds who are mad about emails don't even get a cut out of Villy's thing. So that's cool. That's cool. You want to work for Villy for free? Go for it. I'm sure it's working out great for you, and there will be
if that's true. Like if that's true, and honestly, I don't totally believe it, but if it's true, then like that is one of the shittiest things I've ever heard from a supposedly good guy alliance leader. If they're keeping all the money, I just messaged Dunk. I asked him, so I hope he replies.
Where does that fall sort of on the spectrum? Like there's doing something really shitty with fucky finances and your ramshackle coalition. Where does forum private message that was unsolicited fall on the spectrum of evil related to such things? You know, like who is the bad guy? Are we the bad guy? If I'm the bad guy, I have to know.
We sent out a forum PM and
how
split all our money evenly.
Total
how
dirt
dare
ball.
us? How dare us? I have to say, one of the lines that I have also really enjoyed this week from the Bads is that we should feel bad that these people who are attacking us do not want to be our friends, right? That we should be upset that the kind of person who gets upset, good faith or bad faith, about an email to our own members of people who signed up on our own forums, these guys think that we want to be their friends. We don't want to be your friends. If you're the kind of person that cries about a fucking email and works for Villy when he's not even paying you, you're a sad sack of shit. We don't want you to be our allies. Fuck off.
They were our friends.
That's right,
our friends. When they needed us to cover their asses so that they could go fight fraternity for 8 months, we were best buddies.
That's
and
true.
When they needed our help to go up and north to fuck with PanFam because they wanted help, we were their friends. Now we're
bad, and we sent an email.
Now when they need help from Brave and Evictus to remove goons from the game, they're their best friends, but they don't give them a cut of the money.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. You absolutely can't make this shit up. I didn't even think to ask about this earlier in the war. If I had found out about this earlier in the war, you would have been hearing about it on the Meta Show from day one, because that's amateur hour. If you are getting coalition money, you distribute it in front of the entire coalition and you have transparency, because otherwise your allies will go, hey, you're getting paid. Why am I not getting paid? What the hell is going on here, right? So I didn't even think to ask. I just assumed that Legacy, of course, was distributing the profits from the TCC the same way that we were doing it, because that's how adults handle their business.
He's going on every single Eve talk show.
That is true.
I am sure they'll ask him. I am sure they'll ask him this question. I am 100%, because they would never give him softballs. They would only ask him actual important questions. They'll never throw only
hardball
softballs
questions on Crying in Stations. Crying in Stations is where you go for the hard news. They never pull their punches, and you can hear from amazing people like Villy and the other guy and the other guy and Matterall, I guess. I don't know.
So what happens next? I wonder, because this is it's a unique situation. I try to think of myself as a leader of a group of people that is a part of a bigger group, and I try to put myself in the shoes of the folks we're talking about and how would I respond to it. The TTC stuff is sort of, I already know how most leader people, they would be like, get the fucking checkbook out yesterday and let's make this right. But I'm curious, as these little alliances who've come to find out that they've been starved of ISK that's feeding this sort of abomination of an alliance that's watching a bunch of other alliances try to invade us in slow motion, and with varying degrees of ineptitude and ineffectiveness. I just wonder, where do we go next? If you're the leader person of one of these smaller groups, how confident are you right now in your place in this whole thing? How confident are you in you sort of have to care for your own people and be thinking like long term, how am I going to take care of my space tribe? These are the thoughts we all have. What are you going to do next year? What are you going to do when this whole steamroller does a U-turn and starts heading in your direction? Now is a great time to go ahead and find the exit. You don't want to be here for what's about to happen.
Please stay.
Get off the bus right now, so I would try to, if it was me and I wasn't already somehow shackled to this ridiculous conflict, see you later. We all have bigger fish to fry, I think, in the game. There's been a greater conversation over who really is the bad guy in the game. You hear a lot of talk. Fraternities out there doing their thing right now. They're a real threat to the rest of the game. We should all be turning our guns that direction, working on that. The existential or like the permanent removal of goons, I'm here to tell you this isn't happening. So the end game that you have established for yourselves is not even an option that's on the table. So let's talk about what's going to be next, because we've all got to kind of move on and pick up the pieces once this is over, you know?
You know, Merkelson, I negotiate for a living, and I wouldn't want to deal with you. You're just good at what you do. You're really good at what you do.
Okay.
God damn it, I'm muted again. I was too busy talking to my wife.
No.
All right, let's talk. I want to. I asked these guys. I want to talk.
You weren't muted.
I can hear you.
They could hear me. The audience couldn't hear me. What I said was, I want to talk about something that's not propaganda for a little bit because we got Frank coming on later. He'll do that. But I have a legitimate, serious thing to talk about, and that is fraternity. Okay? NC Dot, fighting. PanFam, Pandemic Legion, fighting. Horde, fighting a lot. Test, fighting a little bit. Brave, fighting. Evictus, fighting. NSH and the other little guys, fighting. All these other little guys are out there fighting. Fraternity is like the third largest alliance on its own in the game. Where the fuck are they? I mean,
I'm not going to complain.
all the numbers I'm seeing, I see mining numbers and ratting numbers off the charts for fraternity. So while Legacy, who is ostensibly allied with them and they're supposed to be helping, they've got mangoes protecting all of their space because they can't do it themselves while they're not attacking us, apparently. All of a sudden, fraternity's out there doing whatever they want. They're the ones making it. Why are we not all killing them? I don't get it.
I mean, fighting in China time zone is really not fun.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the whole point.
also maybe Norris is an adult and he can actually read the tea leaves and see which way this war is going and doesn't really want to commit to a fool's errand led by Villy, right?
Here's
Like,
something I was thinking about before I knew the TTC thing, and this just really feeds into that. I had no idea about that, but you know, you talk about Test and how little they're fighting, right? And we all know that, like everyone knows, Test, their numbers have been way down. They haven't left their home. They're crabbing full time, right? They're in their Oracles, they're in their supers, they're making money. And then Villy keeps talking about how, oh, this is going to be a really long war, you know, 1DQ by February, all this stuff, right? I get why, right? It makes sense. Test is making money. Test is getting ahead of Horde, of NC, of Pandemic Legion, of everyone who's deployed to the front, even of Brave and Evictus, like to some degree.
I mean, they've
But-
just been able to phone it in, let Brave and Evictus do most of the work as far as
But
the
do you
Voltron
guys think
stuff goes,
that's
yeah.
why Horde is backing away and this two-pronged strategy is no longer a two-pronged strategy? It's like a half-bent spork now?
I don't think I
mean-
think Horde is backing away, and
No,
I
they're
don't know what their internal discussions are. But like, if I'm them and Philly's like, yeah, guys, we should play it real slow. Like, I was thinking about this earlier. I'm like, yeah, of course he wants to play it real slow. Like they're at home. They're not, you know, he always talks about like two front multi-deployment clone stagings. I think those are terrible, and they are. But the one benefit that they have is that their guys commit very little and spend most of their time making money. And Horde guys don't do that. They can't do that. NC can't do that. PanFam can't do that. So every month this war goes on, it's another month that they have built up their stocks while letting their future enemies deplete theirs.
Yeah, it's sort of like a little mini FRT thing because like FRT is in a position where due to time zones and stuff, they can essentially, they're in, as Asher called it a while back, a new idiom for me, but the catbird seat. Like no matter who loses, FRT is in a position where they will win, right? Because of the strategic benefits they have. And I guess Test has realized that they can lean on their legacy allies who they are apparently not sharing any TTC ISK with. And incidentally, boy, howdy, are you guys missing out. But if they can get all of these other idiots to follow along and do the work for Test, I mean, if you're going to be able to rely on brave newbies to do most of the heavy lifting and not pay them while you stay at home and make ISK, then why wouldn't you, right? Like,
Right.
It seems viable enough.
That's part of. Look, if you look at REVE, and I know a lot of you guys don't want to look at Reddit, but I do it because it's part of my job on the CSM is to be the public face. I know Mark doesn't agree, but that's my job. That's what I do. I'd say every month or so, and sometimes it's like once a year it becomes like a big deal, but every month or so, REVE starts doing their 2-minute hate on botting and bots. And it's frustrating because it's like the biggest offenders of the whole botting stuff are getting a free ride now because everybody that would be going up and hunting them is in this war. And half the guys on that, I mean, and then you've got groups that we know historically have had large numbers of bots in the groups. Those guys are there. So it's like, okay, I don't get it.
Sorry.
It receives value.
But I just
receives
saw
value?
Billy's defense is that Legacy receives value from the TTC guys. Legacy receives value. Goons are
Receives
broke.
value.
We're gonna get goons to quit the game. I'm Sky Marshal Billy. Here are my 4 titles I've given myself so I can feel special about myself. Have you noticed that he gives himself titles?
The
No wonder
value
he thinks
is
we're
amazing.
broke. No
Why?
wonder he
Value
thinks we're
think is
broke.
amazing.
Think about this. He thinks we're broke because he knows we split the money and he doesn't. So he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, of
But
course.
that-
I mean,
this- but this is
I
the
never
thing.
thought about that.
I love the fact.
Well, I didn't know
love
it
the
until
whole.
10
I
minutes
love
ago.
the whole value thing because that to me is the
Yeah.
best line ever because that
Trickle
is
down economics. Trickle down economics.
trickle down
boys. Nailed it.
economics. There you go.
Wriggle down economics.
Wriggle
Trickle down.
Wriggle down
Wriggle
economics.
Economics. The point is, I always laugh because
the TTC funds the Pro God fleets, which is the value that testifies to legacy.
it's like every creative person in the world has had somebody come up to them saying,
Oh my God, these fucking
"Hey,
dumbasses."
could you do this for me? Could you make this video for me?" And this kind of stuff. And I'm like, "Great. How much are you going to pay?" And the response is, "Oh, I'm not going to pay you anything, but you'll make it back in exposure."
That's
This
right.
is what they're doing.
It's writing.
exposure.
It's block warfare for exposure. Brave. After this, you're going to have so much opportunity after Goonswarm
They'll be
totally
very
loses
exposed.
this
They'll be
war.
really exposed.
They will have lots of
Definitely.
exposure. Lots of exposure. Their exposure is increasing every single day as it happens. And what could go wrong with Brave having lots of... You can't make this shit up, guys. Like, the thing about this war that's so different from a war run by competent enemies, and credit to PanFam, back in the day, like, fighting a legacy run war compared to fighting a PanFam run war. Like, talk shit as much as I want about, like, Vince or whatever, but, like, you know, we all tried to kill each other for like 14 years, right? Like, we there's a degree of, you know, just going at it that after a while, like, you know, we would have to have a degree of parity in terms of skill and leadership, or our various organizations would have imploded and vanished by now. Going to fight in a campaign like a block war where the shots are getting called by people like Villy and Pro God Legend, like it is night and day. And it is so weird because, you know, this has been going on for like 2 months now, and they're only just now getting ready to maybe come at Delve, but they're just going to nibble at queries because what they want is for us to attack them on their keep stars, because it turns out that all the work that they've been doing all these years, getting their keep stars blown up by us, they were on the easy mode side of the aisle, because it turns out the keep star defense is a blast compared to keep star offense. Man, keep star defense is a delight. We're having so much fun on it, and we really are looking forward to you putting your Titans on our keep stars. But they keep going, oh, are they going to come at us?
We have a handful of dreadnoughts for you.
Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, because I can't believe I have to explain this. One of the reasons why defensive wars favor the defender if they go longer is it gives us times. Oh, sorry, I forgot we're out of money, but it gives us time to build shit. You guys have already seen, like, hey, we've got caches here, caches there, and Tesla's all like, well, we have 500 dreadnoughts. Okay. Great.
I feel bad.
I'm not going to tell you how many we have, but it's been a few months.
I can just sit at home. I can just see right now the poor Brave guy in the audience watching the show, looking around like, you get paid?
you guys getting paid?
It's like, what the fuck, right?
Learning this so much makes sense now. Like, the reason that they're so
Everything
intent
fits.
on pulling initiative away from us is they don't understand how you treat an ally. And the reason that they have people who are allied to them that are unhappy makes a lot more sense.
Because they treat their allies like shit, but they accuse us of being the ones doing it. They're projecting. Wow.
Yeah, it's like literally 100% projection. We treat our
Whippler
allies
would
like
literally kill me. Like he would snap my neck into like a twig if TNT was not getting their cut of TTZ profits, and he would be entirely in his rights to do that. I cannot believe that they have a coalition of like 50,000 people with many different alliances or whatever on the legacy side. Actually, I don't even know how big legacy is. Is it 50? Is it 70?
It's
whatever.
50. Yeah, it's over 50.
There's a bunch of people mad about emails because they have no lives. And I can't, they just, Legacy receives value for
They
their
get value.
contribution and their exposure. This is a great war against Goonswarm, which is why we have to get rid of goons, even though we used to work together with goons and ask for them to help, and they basically carried us in UALX. But goons are bad, and goons have always been bad. Thanks for the value.
This is the thing. Honestly, to be bluntly honest, Brave has gotten more free media from this show in the last 3 weeks than they've gotten value out of the TTT. I mean, to be honest.
There's more exposure.
We talk about them all the time. And you coming at them, they love that. They had memes for days because of the last time we talked about Brave. These guys, you're on the wrong side, man. We're the ones buttering your bread.
I'm actually mind blown. I never understood, I never really got the initiative play. The initiative play, I never understood it. But it makes so much sense now. When you treat your allies like shit, you assume we do. But we don't, and we never have.
Oh, that's why they thought it would be. They're like, oh, we'll just attack the initiative and goons will treat them shittily, because they believe that, we have never been closer with an it. Nothing gets everybody together in the trenches quite like being attacked by the entire galaxy, especially when the entire galaxy turns out to be a bunch of little bitches who cry about emails. Received value. You received an email. We received value. You got an email. Whatever.
You know who received the most value out of them not paying Brave? This meta show. This has been the best meta show. We got so much value out of this.
We've been able to riff on this for 20 minutes.
Oh my god, I'm fucking dying here.
I'm still wide-eyed. I'm still wide-eyed. I cannot believe it.
Stunning.
They received value confirms it. I didn't believe it. I messaged Chris. I did not believe it. I didn't believe
They've received value in kind of a kind, not isk. It's not a pecuniary value. It's Jesus Christ.
You pass through the looking glass at this point, I think, and it's all started to come together. These events are now starting to coalesce. Make sense.
We have to win this war for the good of the game.
We have to. We can't let a bunch of email crybabies win this war.
If these guys win with the way they act, it's really bad for the game long term. It is very bad for the game long term for these guys to win. We had to do our best to win.
We had a friend in my circle of friends back in college, and everybody called him the butler, but we didn't call him the butler in front of his face. We called him the butler because he was sort of like having a full-time valet for our crew of friends. You had way too much to drink at the bar, hand the butler your keys. Your girlfriend wanted to go see a movie that you didn't give a shit about. Hey, the butler will take her and take her to the movie for you. He would sort of soak up all of the random tasks that needed to be accomplished, but we never told him that. So fast forward 10 years, I'm telling my wife we're going to go meet this group of people. She walks up to this dude, and the first freaking thing out of her mouth is, "Oh, you're the butler." And that's what this show feels like, where the quiet part got loud really fast, and now we're all just sort of trying to pick up the pieces and figure out where we're going to go next. It's making me uncomfortable because I'm thinking there's probably some weird conversations going on in the Slacks and Discords of the world in the Legacy Coalition or whatever.
Received value. Why would you trust Villy to be the arbiter of you receiving? Well, and why would you trust Villy in the first place, really? But I mean, actually, this all makes sense. The kind of people who would trust Villy to receive value to Legacy Coalition are the exact same kind of people who would cry about emails and also wonder why we don't want them as friends.
How patronizing is that? Receive value? This would be oh yeah,
you receive value from our efforts.
He'll be like, we give them iHubs and caps or whatever. We'll decide what's best for you. They're there. It's so patronizing. We don't give initiative the money and then say, here's how you have to spend it. It's not food stamps. We
bought you guys a jump gate. It's really, really nice.
We don't trust you guys to spend your money wisely, so we're getting you dreadnoughts. That's what you get.
We don't trust you to be our allies and make your own financial decisions. So we're gonna let Daddy Villy.
Villy knows best. Villy knows best.
Wow. Can you just pathetic? I can't.
They think you're the patronizing one too, which is the really funny part. Is that you always talk about projection.
Yeah.
And wow. This all just has come to
everything clicks together now. Actually, their strategy about going after Nit, their insistence that we are not friends with a Nit and we will not make sure that everybody in the Imperium is taken care of. All of it makes sense because that's how they treat each other. That's it. They are projecting all this stuff on us. Some of them are actually just a bunch of little bitches that we want nothing to do with. And if you suck that much, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. Please let us keep shooting you. But from a strategic perspective, actually, because like here's the thing, I'm just gonna meta a little here. I'm gonna show a few cards. We had intel from a few people about the actual nature of the TTC ISK from Legacy, but kind of like when we scraped Band of Brothers forums back during the Great War, and we only got about 30% of it. We didn't really know exactly who was getting TTC ISK when I started herfing blurps here a few minutes ago. I thought it was probably the case that Vili was up to something, and I knew that certain of their alliances were not getting any TTC ISK, but that dumbass just got baited, so he's got to go, oh, we receive value, which means that now I know you aren't sharing shit, and I didn't know that before. You can't, it's like metagaming against a fucking toddler. Are you kidding me? You want to come at us? You want to come at Goonswarm? You want to come at the Imperium? You want to talk about getting us, of all people, to quit the game while you're forging us together in a super dense ball of go fuck yourself, which is aimed at you and all the value you have? Yeah, great idea, dumbass. You just got played hard. Now we know you've been treating your allies like shit while projecting on us. Thank you for spelling out the value you're receiving. I'm sure that your allies will be delighted to receive an itemized receipt, because we keep spreadsheets. We share this, like we can show everybody in the Imperium, not everybody in the Imperium. We're not going to show line members the amount of money that's there, but all of the autocrats, whenever we scrape the TTC ISK, they get paid and they know it. And there's a system and it's open and obvious because it's per capita. Because if we were going to fuck our allies over, they would find out and they wouldn't be our allies anymore. But you guys just fuck your allies over all the time. I can't believe this shit.
It's hilarious. All right, are you guys ready for a war update?
Yeah, I think we need a war update. I'm feeling pretty war updatey.
We got some time. We're going to do some war updates here. It's Fountain Frank time, everybody. How are you all? I hope you guys are doing well today. I have some exciting news to discuss with the crew. I mean, this is crazy shit. Okay? Now, you guys all know, and I have told you, and you have heard from me on more than one occasion, that Horde has always lived in Fountain, and in it has always lived in Delve. And I have proof. Here is last week's Dotland Sov map. It's not Dotland, it's just the Sov map. But here's last week's Sov map. Here it is. Boom. Look up there, Fountain. Pandemic Horde. Right here. Right here. Right here. Exciting, right? I mean, that's what I told you. You guys know this. Horde owns Fountain. But wait! Wait, gentlemen. What has happened in the past 4 days? Let's look at today's Sov map. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Boom! Look at this! In it! Look, Horde is this little tiny corner. Look at this. Little tiny corner. And in it has taken Fountain. Fortress Fountain! Horde's fortress system. It has been taken. These guys, you guys thought that Fountain would never fall because Horde was too strong, and even with all their AWOCs clearing every system out, that they would never leave. 4 days. Deal with it. 4 days.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm talking about.
They're invading in the wrong direction.
I mean, you guys, it's just like, I can't even. I mean, we've never lived at Fountain, but we could live there now because you got, look at this shit. Let me show you. Look at the stuff they left behind. Boom. Dead Fortizar, completely fitted. Boom. Dead Fortizar, another one in YTAC 2. Check this out. Boom, fraternity. Well, I mean, I guess they tried. I mean, it wasn't fitted or anything, but you know, you can go with that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this guy in Fountain. I don't even know what he's doing. Now, this is the kind of thing that these guys would love to play off. That Fountain Titan that we killed. That's the kind of thing that these guys would tell you. Well, this guy was quitting the game, so we don't want to do it. Let me tell you right now. You know what that guy was doing. He was moving down south to try to hang out with the rest of these Horde guys sitting somewhere in jump range of Quirius. We don't know. And he got caught. And not only did he get caught, look at this again. He got freaking AWOT'd by his own boy. Look at this. Look at this. There you go. Come on, guy. And then this was my favorite. This is my favorite one today. This guy, this is like right here. I don't even know what to say. I mean, first of all, name checks out. Falcon on a gate, Mr. Braindead, killed by a flycatcher. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Where do you even start with this? I mean, yes, name checks out, but I mean, it's like this. You got this little tiny little dictor, and you got this big bait Sino, and he dies. I don't even get it. Like, yeah, who flies flycatchers? I gotta give my Inapros. That's legit. You guys flew a flycatcher. I'm proud of that.
That probably took like 15 minets to kill that damn thing with
just sitting there, right?
A blistering 41 DPS or whatever.
Seriously. I mean, freaking rockets. Look at this. He had rockets. He killed him with rockets. Scourge range rockets. Jesus. This is what I'm talking about. Okay.
Shit up. My God.
You cannot make this stuff up. I'm telling you. Fortress Fountain has finally fallen, and it has taken it from Horde, and it took us 4 days, and we killed a ton of structures, and plus after they cleared out all their shit, so they didn't have to we couldn't blow up their keep stores. They did it for us. We even tried to save them because we're nice guys, and it didn't happen. I mean, look, all I gotta say is, I mean, this is just, this is just the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
You can't make this shit up. I mean, Frank, thank you so much for your war update. I have to say, I agree with you. I had trouble too because we sounded the horn of Goondor. And one of the things that I told people in the Horn of Goondor is, guys, the enemy is at the gates of Delve. They are going to be coming in from the north. We have lost Fountain. Like, it's real now. They're moving their ships into position. It's going to happen. And then, lo and behold, I have to explain to my guys who are just coming back and are like, hey, like, what's going on? Yeah, like, they totally, like, they took this region. We took it back. We blew up. They blew up some of our structures. We blew up some of their structures. But yeah, seriously, like they are actually coming. When we sounded the horn, we had lost Fountain. It's just that I didn't expect Horde to move out so rapidly and even leave the iTaxi stager vulnerable. Right? You're gonna do all these move ops out of there and just like let your people straggle along like this zillion Keepstar chain that you guys have set up because you're too lame to jump a regional gate. See, over in Space Chat Imperium Land, we love jumping regional gates. We jump regional gates into you, and we drop vehemence because we don't give a fuck. You guys are invading us so badly, we have started doing the things that you were too terrified to do just to show you how it's done, to give you a little helper, to show you that you can, in fact, jump supers through a regional gate, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Nothing bad is waiting for you in Delve. Please come into my parlor. Okay. I think I'm good. I'm just still stunned by the revelations of your legacy receives value. I would rather receive ISK, and thankfully I do get ISK, as does everybody in the Imperium from the TTC. But receives value is determined by Villy, because since Villy knows value when it would bite him in the ass. Like, what? You can't make this shit up. And he gave it away on the meta show. Oh, you receive value. If you just lied and said, oh, they receive. If he had said nothing, we wouldn't have known. But he had to respond because instead of FCing very much this week, and please do keep at it. I love seeing Pro God Legend melt down repeatedly and like be shitty. to your members on fleets, because that's pro God. It can never be his fault. When Villy is doing the talk show circuit, this is the one talk show I do, 1 hour a week. Villy lives on Crying in Stations with such greatest hits as Adding Value and Goons Are Broke and Defensive Wars are better to be dragged out as long as possible. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And on that, I think that's it. I think I'm
one
good.
last funny for us. We have been talking last week. We explained to everybody how you can tell, what kind of show it's going to be based on the clothes that we're wearing. And somebody had asked, I wonder, could you guys? There's like an alignment chart in Dungeons and Dragons that tells where everybody is.
I love it.
We wanted to show you. We decided, our crack production team here at the Meta Show decided to put this together so that you guys have a better idea of which characters are good and which are bad and which are not. So with all here you go. Here is the official Meta Show alignment guide. And there you go. You got it. Merc is consensus pissing, lawful good. When I have my lawyer suspenders on, I'm neutral good. Nom Nom drinking a beer, chaotic good. You got Frank as chaotic neutral, me as the newsman, and then me relaxed. Like today, I'm lawful neutral today. You saw me herf a few more blurfs than usual. And then you got Mittens in a tie, Mittens in the red shirt, and Mittens today, we will destroy you.
I feel like that bottom right quadrant, we kind of hit that pretty hard today, like on all cylinders.
Just a little.
I don't know if we left it one time.
Just a little.
When I'm wearing the blazer, it actually restrains me. It turns out this is my first time doing this is a Fireside style meta show where we didn't really come up with it. We're just going to hang out. We're going to shoot the shit. It's going to be all good. But this is the first time I'm rocking a black shirt, I think, without a sort of a restraining device to sort of keep things under control. So I think probably, Limitani was mean to me on the. Oh, here's another one. Sorry, one last little bit of black shirt before we're done. One last, and then we're done. The guys that scream about me being mean on the Meta Show, when they come at me and they come at my people, you guys, you talk shit, but you can't take a hit. You run around, you cry, oh, it's a talk show. He's insulting me. That's mean. Well, you insulted us and we insult you back. But then you cry like a little bitch when somebody actually takes your talking shit, puts a spotlight on it, and highlights what a dumbass you are, adding value. So one of my favorite themes from the Screechers, the Praxis Truthers, the Gurgoons, the people who are so obsessed that they invent stories about us, putting stickers on people's bags, and the Praxises were there to crash things. And he's adding value is when you talk shit, then you cry like a little bitch when somebody talks shits back. I have no obligation to not insult you if you insult me, right? Like that's how this works. You insult me, I insult you back, and then you go cry. But they're cry bullies. That is, I think, the ultimate thing here is that they want to be able to talk shit. They just want to do it from behind somebody. Like in the case of Test, I guess they want to hide behind Brave while they're talking shit about us. So that's just one thing I want to point out. So if you're one of the people that's angry about the fact that I am willing to say the same things about you as you say about me, cry more. Seriously, please cry more, because we do enjoy it. We genuinely enjoy it. And that adds value to us. And with that, I'm done for now.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This has been the Meta Show. Today is September the 12th, 2020. We're joined by Merkel Chen, our dear friend Asher Elias, and Mittens. As always, we'll see you next week. Pine cones to Linda Est, and you stay classy, Nui.